Hey, fourth graders. Hope you're having a great day. I'm doing lesson 12.10, mixed measures. This lesson's pretty fun. It's got a whole bunch of different measurements in it. And they throw a bunch of different things at you one time. It's really not anything new compared to what you've been learning in the last couple sections. There's no new units or anything like that. It's just doing math with those units. So it's adding and subtracting and some multiplying here and there. Some division too, but not too much. But a lot of it is just, you have to think through the conversions to do it. So these are tricky problems because you have to think through what the conversions would be. But for the most part, they're pretty fun. I think they're pretty fun. So let's see here. It says Herman is building, I'm on page 697. Herman is building a picnic table for a new campground. The picnic table is 5 feet 10 inches long. How long is the picnic table in inches? So this one you're converting 5 foot 10 into just inches. The problem with this is some of your original unit is in feet and some of it's in inches. So you have to convert the feet part to inches and then you can add them all up together. So it says think of 5 feet 10 inches as being 5 feet plus 10 inches. So they wrote that down there for you, 5 feet and 10 inches. But you have to turn, the whole answer needs to be in inches. So we're going to turn this feet right here into inches and then we're going to add them up together. So to figure that out, there's 12 inches in a foot. So I would do 5 times 12 to accommodate for that, which is 60. And then the 10 inches just comes over to the side here. And we add those together. So that's 70 inches. So the picnic table is 70 inches long. Here's where you have to use that idea and then put it together with some operations. Herman built the picnic table in 2 days. The first day he worked for 3 hours and 45 minutes, which is right here. The second day he worked for 2 hours and 10 minutes. How long did it take him to build the table? So with these, what I like to do on these, when I have 2 units in one measurement, I like to separate them. Oops, that's kind of crooked. Okay. And I start with the minute and then I move to the hours. Think of all of these as being like a mixed number. When we were adding and subtracting mixed numbers, now you don't need to write this down, but I wanted to show you something. Let's say we had 3 and 5 eighths plus 2 and 5 eighths. We would always add the fractions together first and then carry over any whole numbers that we had, right? So that would be 5 eighths plus 5 eighths is 10 eighths. Bring that down, that's 5. Well, we can't have this improper fraction inside this mixed number. So this became 8 eighths plus 2 eighths and 5, which means that became a 1. So 5 plus 1 is 6 and 2 eighths. These problems work very similar to that, except they're expressed in units of different kinds and not in fractions. But if you think of this as a fraction, that'll really help you out with this. So this measurement is not just 3 hours and 45 minutes, it's 3 hours and 45 minutes of the next hour, which is a fraction. Because there's 60 minutes in an hour, so that'd be 45 out of 60. So treat all of these like mixed numbers and how you handle them, and that'll help you get through them. So do the fraction part first, just like we did the fraction part over here first. Do the pieces parts first, the portions of the hour, not the full hour. Save the full hours for the very end. So we would do 45 minutes plus 10 minutes, and that's 55 minutes. Okay? And then we come over here and we do the hours. So we had 55 minutes. Because that's not any bigger than 60, that's still a portion of an hour. It's not a whole hour. And we just leave it the way that it is. We don't have to carry anything over. But then we have 3 plus 2, and that makes it 5. So Herman it took Herman 5 hours and 55 minutes to build the table. What if Herman worked an extra 5 minutes on the picnic table? How long would he have worked on the table then? Well, if you add 5 minutes to this, that becomes 60 minutes. 60 minutes is 1 hour, which means we carry that 1 hour over to here. So your answer would be 6 hours if you just added 5 minutes to this part right here. All right, next page. 698. Example 2. This is subtracting. Alicia is building a fence around the picnic area. She has a pole that is 6 feet 6 inches long. She cuts 1 foot of 7 inches from one end. How long is the pole now? So she's got this big long pole and she's chopping off 1 foot 7 inches of it. So it says 7 inches is greater than 6 inches. So you need to regroup the subtraction. Yeah. So you start out with, they had 6 feet 6 inches. That's how long it was to start with. She took off 1 foot and 7 inches. So again, you're going to subtract one section at a time. Subtract your pieces and then go after your whole sections. Now, we can't do 6 minus 7. So we had to regroup from over here. So it's a lot like when we were subtracting mixed numbers as well. We had to regroup one of the whole circles, move it to the other side so that we could actually do subtraction properly. This is the same exact thing. I'm going to borrow one of these feet. So I'm turning the 6 to a 5 and carry over 12 inches. Okay? So I'm bringing that 1 foot over to the inches side, which means I had to take away a foot from here and pull 12 inches over here. So that means that that's now 5 feet and 18 inches. 5 feet, 18 inches is the same length as 6 feet, 6 inches. It's just not how we write things. We always group it in terms of hours. Or, I don't know why I keep saying hours, sorry. In terms of the whole number, which is the foot here. So, this one, now that we've brought 12 inches back over here, which is what they're doing over here, 5 foot 6 inches plus 12 inches becomes 5 foot 18 inches. 18 minus 7 is 9. No, 11. Sorry. 18 minus 7 is 11. And then 5 minus 1 is 4. So that's just what they did on here. 5 minus 1 is 4. So the pole is now 4 feet, 11 inches long. And again, if you were to take those 4 feet and you glued back on that piece that you just cut off, you'd be adding those together. It'd be 11 plus 7 is 18, which means you carry 12 inches over to the feet side, which leaves you with 6 inches over here, and then 7 feet over there, or 6 feet, sorry. So that would be what you started out with too. So these are they're pretty tricky, just because you have to think about what's the conversion with it. It's not just, okay, let's subtract it and we move on. It's we have to put it back into the right thing. Because if you were to leave me with an answer, let's say it said 4 foot 27 inches, I'd be like, that's not quite right. We would have to turn that into how many feet is that total, and then what inches are tacked on to the end. All right, 3 pounds, 5 ounces minus 1 pound and 2 ounces. So I'm gonna stack these. 3 pounds and 5 ounces minus 1 pound and 2 ounces. I've got 5 minus 2 is 3. So we don't have to borrow for this one because we could do 5 minus 2. With this one up here, you can't do 6 minus 7. So that's why you had to borrow. So that's 3 ounces. 3 minus 1 is 2 pounds. So your answer, is 2 pounds, 3 ounces. A truck is carrying 2 tons, 500 pounds of steel. Wow, that's a lot. How many pounds of steel is the truck carrying? So think of 2 tons, 500 pounds as your you're going to convert all of that to pounds in this problem. So 2 tons plus 500 pounds. 2 tons is 2 tons times 2,000 because there's 2,000 pounds in a ton. So that becomes 4,000 pounds. And the 500 comes over. So you add those together. 4,500. So the truck is carrying 4,500 pounds of steel. So this one you didn't have to like, this truck has this many pounds and the other truck has this many pounds, add them together. This one you just had to turn this double unit, this mixed measure, into one measurement, into pounds. So you had to just convert the top one and add it to what you had with the other piece. Alrighty. This is where we get some good practice in. Rewrite each measure in the given unit. So this one up here, you had to turn 1 yard 2 feet into how many feet total? Well, 1 yard has 3 feet in it. So 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5. 3 pints and 1 cup. If you go back to your big G that we made the other day, we're going from pints to cups. So there are 2 cups in each pint, so 2 C's and a P. So I'm gonna multiply by 2. So I've got 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7, so your answer is 7. And then 3 weeks and 1 day. There are 7 days in a week, so it would be 3 times 7 equals 21, plus that 1 extra day gives me 22 days. All right, so these ones, make sure you're paying attention to the sign. And I always divide these down the middle because it really helps me keep them separated until I have to put them back together. So 6 ounces plus 4 ounces is 10 ounces. For this one, you have ounces and pounds. There are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So this is less than 16, so we can just leave the 10 exactly where it is. And then we can just add the pounds the way that they are. Like I said, that's the tricky part about these problems is once you've done the addition or the subtraction, you have to think through, okay, you know, does that equal up to a whole unit of the next unit or does it stay the same? That's one thing you have to look at your conversions for. And feel free to go back and look at those. I'm not expecting you to memorize anything beyond the time ones. The time ones are ones you should just know, but the rest of them I will let you look it up for it. So let's separate these guys again. So I have quarts and gallons. 2 quarts minus 3 quarts. I can't do 2 minus 3, so I'm gonna have to borrow from the gallon. I'm gonna leave 2 gallons the way that they are and take one of that 3rd gallon and divide it into quarts. There are 4 quarts in a gallon, which means I can do 6. Because there were 2 quarts here. I borrowed 4 quarts from here because I borrowed 1 gallon. 4 quarts is 1 gallon. 4 plus 2 is 6. So now I can do 6 minus 3. And that's 3 quarts. 2 minus 1 is 1 gallon. So your answer is 1 gallon and 3 quarts. Here's your subtraction. 20 minus 15, we can do that, so we don't have to borrow anything. So that's 5 minutes and 2 hours. So I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do this one with you, and then I'm going to have you pause the video, and I want you to try these ones over here, and then I'll go over the answers with you. These ones are just conversions. You're just converting to 1 unit instead of 2, and these ones are like any operation that they give you. These ones I think are all addition and subtraction, yeah. So I've got 1 hour 15 minutes. 1 hour is the same thing as 60 minutes. So I'm gonna do 1 times 60 equals 60 plus 15 minutes over there. that gives me 75 minutes. It's like doing these problems up here. And then here's a subtraction. I've got 300 minus 300. I can do that. It does turn to 0, but that's okay. 0 pounds. 2 tons minus 1 ton is just 1 ton. So it's 1 ton and 0 pounds. So you could just leave that off if you want to. Up to you. So pause the video, and I want you to go ahead and do these 4. So pause right here. All right, here's your answers. I'm gonna do these 2 at the top, and then I'll go down to the addition and subtraction. So 4 quarts is 2 pints. There are 2 pints in a quart. So I'm gonna do 4 times 2, which is 8, plus 2 equals 10. So there are 10 pints there. 10 feet, 10 inches. There are 12 inches in a foot. Equals 120 plus 10, the 10 inches from over here, which means my answer is 130. Okay, I'm gonna separate these guys. So I've got 9 plus 8 is 17 cups. I know that 17 cups is bigger than a gallon. So you go back to your gallons, you count all the cups in there. There are 16 cups in a gallon, so that's too big. So I'm gonna take away 16 of those cups, transform them into a gallon. So I'm gonna add a gallon over to this side, take away 16 from the 17, which leaves me with 1 cup. Because again, I can't leave it as a 17 because that's a gallon plus a cup. So I put the gallon over here, and then I just left the 1 cup behind. 10 plus 8 is 17, or sorry, 18 plus 1 is 19. So your answer is 19 gallons and 1 cup. Um, 6 plus 12 is 18 ounces. So we're going from ounces to pounds. There are 16 ounces in a pound, so that's too many. That's a pound plus some. So I'm going to regroup 1 pound over here, which leaves me with 2 ounces over here. So I took away 16 ounces, turned them into a pound, put it over here, and it left me with 2 ounces behind. So 7 minus 2 is 5 plus 1. Oh no, sorry. Whoops. Ooh, sorry, messed up. I wasn't supposed to do that. I was supposed to reduce that. I was like, that didn't make any sense. And you're right, it didn't. So let me go over that again one more time, sorry. I couldn't do, yeah, I totally messed that up. I wasn't thinking at all, guys, sorry. Let me just start over. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do. If you mess up in the middle of it, just start right over, no big deal. You got those YouTubers out there who make their fancy videos and they cut out all their mistakes, and Mrs. Spears is not doing that. I'm just going to show you my mistakes because that's exactly what would happen in class. So I can't do 6 minus 12. So I'm going to borrow from the 7 pounds, turn that into 6 pounds. And that becomes 6 plus 8, or 6 plus 16, because there's 16 ounces in a pound. So that would be 24. No, 22. Yeah, 16 plus 6 is 22, okay. And then now I can actually do 22 minus 12, and that's 10 ounces. So we're good there. And then 6 minus 2 is 4 pounds. So your answer is 4 pounds and 10 ounces. So, sorry about that, guys. Mistakes happen, though. And then we come down here. Ahmed fills 6 pitchers with juice. So shout out to Ahmed, he's in this problem apparently. Each pitcher contains 2 quarts and 1 pint. How many pints of juice does he have in all? This one takes a couple of steps here. So I'm going to turn this right here into pints because I know that the answer wants how many pints. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this all into pints so then I don't have to worry about converting from there. So 2 quarts and 1 pint is the same thing as so there are 2 pints in a quart, so I'm going to do 2 times 2, which equals 4, plus that 1 pint that's left over, and that equals 5. So he's got 5 pints in each pitcher. He's got 6 pitchers, so I'm going to do that times 6. It means he's got 30 pints of juice. That's his answer. So that one's got a couple steps to it. You had to convert it all to pints, and then you can multiply by how many pitchers there were, because there were 5 pints in each pitcher, so we would multiply to get our final answer. Sam and Dave each solve the problem to the right. Sam says the sum is 4 feet 18 inches. Dave says the sum is 5 foot 6 inches. Whose answer makes sense? So here's the problem that they give you. So let's do it ourselves, and then we can kind of compare to each person. So this is 10 plus 8 is 18. Well, that's more than a foot because you're going to feet over here. There's only 12 inches per foot. So I'm going to have to take 12 away from here, which leaves me with 6, and turn it into the 1 foot that comes over to the side. Which means I've got 2, 4, 5 feet. So we have 5 feet 6 inches, which is Dave's answer. But Sam's answer said 4 feet 18 inches. Technically, both boys are correct. 4 feet 18 would be the same thing we would have gotten here. We had 18 inches and 4 feet if we hadn't written it the proper way. So I would say both boys' answers make sense. I wouldn't say neither of them is nonsense. However, Sam's is written in the incorrect form. You wouldn't write it if this is greater than the number of units that would fit in the unit after it, which this one is, it's bigger than 12. You'd have to change how you write it to the correct way. So technically they're both right. They both make sense. However, Dave has the correct form. Jackson has a rope 1 foot 8 inches long. He cuts it into 4 equal pieces. How many inches long is each piece? This one's kind of interesting. So I'm going to turn this all into inches. Again, it just makes things a little bit easier instead of trying to, do the 8 and 4 equal pieces and the foot and 4 equal pieces, which you could do if you really wanted to. You still would be turning this into inches though, to be dividing it up into pieces. So I'm going to turn the whole thing into inches. So 1 foot 8 inches. 1 times 12 is 12. Plus 8 makes it 20 inches. He's dividing that into 4 pieces, so you would use division. Goes in there 5 times. Oops, sorry. 5 times, so that would be each piece is 5 inches long. That's your answer. So that one uses just a little bit of division. Turning the page to page 700. This one, I just decided to show you the answers for this one. So if you are somebody who wants to try them on your own before you see the answers for yourselves, pause the video right here while you're staring at my floor, and then I'll show you the answers here in just a second. All right, I kind of figured this video would take us a little while, so I wanted to just have these already ready for you so I didn't make your video too long. Theo is practicing for a 5-kilometer race. He runs 5 kilometers every day and records his time. His normal time is 25 minutes, 15 seconds. Yesterday, it took him only 23 minutes and 49 seconds. How much faster was his time yesterday than his normal time? So you're asked to find out how much faster was his new time than his old time. What information do you know? We know his old time was 25 minutes and 15 seconds. His new time was 23 minutes and 49 seconds. So we're going to use subtraction to solve it because we're trying to find out how much he saved, like how much time he saved, so what the difference is between those. 15 minus 49, which you can't do. So I borrowed from this minutes side. So this side right here. And that became 24 minutes. I took 60 seconds from that 25th minute, put it over here, which gave me 75 seconds. 75 minus 49 is 26. And then I have 1 minute left over here. Just 24 minus 23 is 1 minute. So that's how much time he saved. Here's the answer for this one. This one has a lot of steps to it. Don has 5 pieces of pipe. Each piece is 3 feet 6 inches long. If Don joins the pieces end to end and make one long pipe, how long will the new pipe be? So this one I turned his measurement into inches. So 3 times 12 gives me 36 inches plus the 6 inches here gives me 42. I multiplied that by 5 because he's got 5 pieces that are each 42 inches long. So that's 210 inches. And then it says, oh yeah, I turned it back into feet. So it says one long pipe. So your answer could be 210 inches, but if you were to go the extra mile and put it back into feet, you'd have to divide by 12 to figure out how many feet are in 210 inches, which gives you 17 feet and 6 inches left over. So that would be also be your answer. So either of these answers are technically correct, but this would be if you wanted to write it in terms of feet and inches. This is just inches over here. And finally this one. Anna mixes 2 quarts, 1 pint of apple juice and 1 quart, 3 cups of cranberry juice. Will her mixture be able to fit in a 1-gallon pitcher? So this one actually used 3 different units. It used quarts, pints, and cups. So I turned everything to cups because I always say, go to the smallest unit that they have on there. So 2 quarts is, there are 4 cups in a quart. So that would be 2 times 4 is 8. And there's 2 cups in a pint, so that would be 2. So that would mean there are 10 cups in this first measurement. 1 quart times 4 cups is 4 cups. Plus the 3 cups is 7, so 10 plus 7 is 17. 16 cups fit into 1 gallon, which, so no, this will not fit. This is 1 gallon and 1 cup, technically. It's too big. All right, guys, I know that was a lot in one section. That's a lot of thinking and a lot of practicing, but it's really, really, really good stuff. So if you get confused, please let me know. Leave me a comment down below, and I will do my best to help you out. But yeah, please reach out on this one. This one's definitely a tricky section. So be very careful. Just think of them as terms of mixed numbers, and then you'll be all set. All right, guys, love you. Hope you have a great day. I will see you later. Bye.